What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down a wide receiver press release that I think all wide receivers need to know to help them get more separation on a slant route versus press coverage inside shade, and then how you guys can get more separation on pretty much any other route on the route tree building off of this. So I hope this video helps you guys out. I hope it teaches you a few new things about this release, but also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to train with us this offseason, we have 3 more opportunities coming up across the U.S. where we're going to be hosting 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camp. So next up, we're going to be coming out to Nashville, Tennessee this weekend, 4th of July weekend. And then we're going to be coming out to Salt Lake City, Utah, and then finishing it off in Los Angeles, California. So if you guys are local to one of those cities, would like to travel out, we would absolutely love to have you out there. Check out that very first link in the description below, fellas. Let's get started. So now, this first release here, we're looking at 2 releases from Amari Cooper. So one of the best route runners in the NFL. And this is going to be a slide release. So I'm going to play this thing full speed. So he does a great job sliding, working outside that DB's frame, and being able to create some separation. So this is obviously on a slant route. So I know what everybody's thinking probably is that, oh, this slide release is taking a little bit too long. Oh, this slide release is not going to work. The quarterback is going to be sacked if he is looking to throw to my side. That is not the case at all. The slide release is used, and it's got to be used in the right type of situation. So a slide release, obviously, he's sliding to the outside, changing up the tempo a little bit, and then this is where wide receivers go wrong. They use it in the wrong situation. So as a wide receiver, you don't want to be that guy who only okay, I'm running a slant, and you run it the same way every time. You have to understand a quarterback's footwork. You have to understand the pass protection. You have to understand the timing of the play. So obviously what they are doing here is they're trying to bring this guy in motion and cause a little misdirection. He's probably going to be running like a drag. He might be running like some kind of a dig, but that's probably where the QB is going to be looking first. He's probably looking one and then coming back to the slant on the second or maybe the third read. So when you're the second or third read on a play, that is when you guys want to take your time with the release. Because if you guys come off the ball too quick, it might screw up the timing of the play. You might bring this defender into the play who could end up covering 2 people. Quarterback might not be ready for you, and you're just going to have to sit there and wait. So the timing of your release is important. So when it comes to this release, this slide release, the reason why we use it is because it's a great way to work this DB off his platform. When he's sitting inside shade or maybe head up and we have to run a slant, we obviously don't want to just force the slant. We obviously don't want to just sit there and wait. We want to attack his outside shoulder because my goal is to get this DB to flip his hips open or just at least come off the platform and bite on the fade so I could get him to open the gate and slip back underneath. So the slide is super important that you attack on a 45-degree angle because that forces the DB to make a decision. And that's what we're going to be talking about later with the next route clip is how you guys can use this release and run a fade off of it, run a 5-yard out, run a 10-yard out, and make it look the same. So when he comes off the line here, you see how he has his stance switched. Wide receivers will do this. Coaches teach this because, you know, it's a way of, it's a form of timing, I guess you could say. Like if he was running this route and this DB was off, maybe it would be like a 2-step slant. So he would go here, 1, 2, instead of just a 3-step or maybe a 1-step slant. So that's why they do it. But with this release, you see how he takes this back foot and takes a step with it. That is not a false step. That is a part of the release because that step right there, more commonly used as like a kick step. If he had his left foot up and his right foot back, he would kick behind his frame with his right foot so he could shoot his hips out. And we're going to show that here in a second because the next clip, he has his feet switched. So he uses this step to take kind of an explosive step, but mainly to push. Because with your release, when it's a slide release, you want to attack on a 45-degree angle. Because if you can attack on a 45, that threatens the DB. He is thinking either fade, outside release, or he is going to sit to the inside and play the slant. And either way, I have him. Because when you attack on this 45, he's got to be moving. He has to move off the platform. If he's going to sit to the inside, he is guessing. So a lot of wide receivers, they'll do this and they ask me well, why is it not working? I'm not doing it correct. I'm not getting separation. The DB just sits there. Usually because when they do this slide release, they never threaten vertically. They will do the slide and go lateral. And trust me, that DB will never bite if you go lateral because you're never going to be a vertical threat. So when you come off the line, you better use that prep step, that kick step, whatever kind of step that you're using to push you and attack you on a 45. Because now I'm going at his outside shoulder, and that's what it takes. So now when you get to the top of this slide release and you throw this crossover move, you have to make it look like a fade. And that's why Cooper is so dangerous with his routes. Everything that he does, every kind of cut that he does, he is fully commits to the cut. So when he throws this 1-2 on this release, you see how he pushes off of this inside foot. He slides left, right. And when he throws that right foot, where is hips and shoulders? Hips are fully committed. Shoulders are fully committed. Everything about this cut looks like a fade, and that is what we have to make it look like if we want this DB to bite. We have to attack at the right angle. I call that range. And we have to sell the route with my entire upper half and me stepping outside the frame, because that is what can get me separation, and that is what can get the DB to flip his hips. So the technique of the slide, you want to slide 1-2. In this case, you're slide left, right. That is the tempo, that is the patience that we need to have to time up with the play, but also to get separation on this DB. So let's play this thing again, full speed, and now we're going to show how you can use this on other routes that are deeper, like an out route, like a fade route, like a corner. Let's play it again. Great job using that prep step. Great job throwing the crossover and winning on that slant. So now, let's talk about this release from Cooper here. He's going to be running, I believe, a 5-yard out, but he uses the exact same type of release. So let's play at full speed. So he comes off, uses the kick step, slides, and he just takes off, bam, breaks this thing right off. So let's show it again. So what does he do? Back foot. He kicks behind. Now that kick step does what? It allows him to throw his hips, get some explosion, and attack on a 45-degree angle. Because now that DB's got a decision to make. Obviously, these are two different clips. I get it. But in a real game scenario, when you can do this to a DB, he has no choice. He has no choice but to have to pick one and have to make a decision. And when we make a DB make a decision, he's always going to be 50-50 chance. He might be right, he might be wrong. And we should have a plan for that. So when we slide off the line like this on a 45, maybe he's seen it before. Maybe you're backside on a play and you've worked this slide release, you've gotten him, and you've ran the slant. So now maybe I slide, that DB starts sitting to the inside, he starts guessing, and some DB coaches teach that. Anytime that you see a slide, oh, just sit, because he's going to be running a slant. And that is why you have to pair your releases together, fellas. So we call the first release a slide release. This is a slide and go release. So he slides to the outside. It's the same tempo. It's the same angle. I cannot stress that enough. And that gets that DB to sit. We can just take off and go run. Now, you might ask me, well, coach, what if I do this and I have a route like an out route and this DB jumps and he jumps to the outside? That's fine. I could just react and take the inside release. That's completely fine. If he jumps to the outside with me and he's way out over here, he's like even with me, I could just take the inside release and still run the route. Because as a receiver, we need to be comfortable with an inside or an outside release on any given route. So if he does jump with you, be patient, be comfortable with it. Just take what he gives you. Okay? So the main focus, fellas, is you have to make this look the same, because when you could get that DB sitting to the inside, you should win on every single outside route. Now we just have to focus on selling vertical, and now he knows when I get up into that stem, whether I'm running a fade or whether I'm running an out, a comeback, whatever it is, he knows he got beat because he was guessing and playing the inside. That is the beauty of that tempo change, and that is the beauty of making your releases look the exact same off the line, fellas. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time, and you see the kick step, you see the angle, and you see the tempo. Those are the three keys with this slide release. Let's play it again, full speed. Great job sliding, taking off to the outside, getting the DB to flip his hips, and then breaking that thing right off on that out route. All right, fellas, I really appreciate you guys watching. I hope this gave you some value. I hope it taught you a few new things. And again, fellas, if you'd like to come out to one of our 3 off-season camps that we have remaining, check out that very first link in the description below, coming out to Nashville, Tennessee, Salt Lake City, Utah, and then Los Angeles, California. So again, very first link in the description below, fellas. I'll see you guys next time.